We need to get a little bit of setups going on, and the first setup is to do your phone lines. So this will take a little bit of time if you haven't already got all this lined out, but some of it will go pretty quickly. The first thing is to set up your incoming phone line for your PPTs to call. You want a specific number that your PPTs call because when they're coming in, you want to know that that's what it's about. So for instance, for me, I would use JR Fent Lead Gen as the phone ID. So whenever my phone rings and they're calling that number, I'm going to see it on my phone that they're calling about lead gen. And so I'll be able to answer the phone the correct way and sound very professional. So if you're in one specific market and only one market, you might choose to have that market name in there, but I wouldn't do that because you really want to expand into other niches. So let's take a look at that. Make sure you get that done. You just need one phone line. You can do it at CallRail really easily for $4 a month. CallRail is a little more expensive than Twilio, but Twilio, it's a little harder to do. You have to set up what are called webhooks, and that'll take you a little bit of time to learn how to do a webhook. But if you could do a simple webhook for forwarding a call, you could use Twilio. It costs you $1.15 a month. I use Twilio for all my lead gen sites because it's so inexpensive. I don't want to pay somebody $16 a month for a phone line that's just sitting there and not making me money yet. And even CallRail, I don't want to pay $4 a month for it when I can pay $1.15 for a Twilio site, because all they're going to do is we're going to use them for forwarding mostly. So, forwarding and a little bit of tracking. And later on, we'll get into the details of that. But consider Twilio. You can, like I said, you can pick up Twilio for your caller ID one, or CallRail if you're already using CallRail. I just do that because that's going to be more expeditious. Next, let's talk about creating a voicemail message. This is for your lead gen sites. This isn't for your phone. You should have a professional message on your phone too if you can't pick up, but that's the message that's going to be on your phone. This generic voicemail message, you want to record this as an MP3 so that you can place it onto all of your lead gen sites within a niche. And so the message should go like what I've got written here, which is just, thanks for calling about pressure washing. See how generic that is? I mean, right away you've said it's about pressure washing, but you haven't named a company. This is a very good way to handle this. So again, let me start over. Thanks for calling about pressure washing. We'll get back to you right away if you leave your name, your phone number, which town you're in, and a brief description of the work you'd like done. Either the owner or a field manager will call you back as soon as possible. Thank you. So that's a great message. I can't believe how many people leave me a voicemail. I barely ever get hangups on this. They'll go ahead and give me exactly what I want, which is the name, the phone number. Sometimes they'll leave the phone number out, which is a pain in the neck. But if you're using Twilio, for instance, Twilio will send you a recording, and on the recording, it will print the phone number that it came in from. So you don't have to sit there and listen to the recording to get it, because that can be really tough if you can't understand somebody. You got to listen to it 5 times to get the phone number out. But you're still going to have to listen to it because you want to get that name, which town they're in, and the description of the work you'd like to have done. That way you can include that in your email when you're sending it to your PPTs. So that's really important. You want to set this up for all your unrented sites so that these messages get recorded and you get notified by email on each one. And you want to work on these in a very timely fashion. You also want to set up your web forms on those unrented sites so that you get notified by email. You don't want anybody else to, unless you have somebody who's assisting you, but you really want to get that notification right away on what's happened on a web form. So the important thing about this all is that you got to move fast. You got to think about this. These people, these customers that are out there and they're thinking, well, I want to get a pressure washing job done. They call you. If you don't answer, if it goes to voicemail, there's a really good chance that they're just going to call the next one on the list. So you want to move really fast to get this. And we found that it works. This just works really well. But it's kind of when you're in this mode, when you're in this development mode, you have to be willing to drop whatever you're doing and do this work really quickly. So what I do is when I'm doing this and I'm in the mode where I'm sending these emails out, trying to get new, I'm taking the leads and trying to turn them over to PPT so that I can convert them to my new customers. I want to move really fast. So what I'll be doing is maybe I'm building out a website. I'm working on a niche website or something like that. But as soon as one of these calls comes in, I drop everything and I do this, because getting this client is that important. And this is how you're going to land at least one a day. And one more thing, since this is a short section anyway, I'm going to tell you this. If you think about the one a day thing, get out an Excel spreadsheet and do this for yourself. There's roughly 250 working days in a year where you're going to get leads in and you can send leads out. If you land one new $500 per month client every day, day after day after day, you wouldn't believe how fast you can bump your income up. In 20 days, you'd be making over $10,000 a month on your new income. So think about that. If you can get up by 10 grand a month in the first 20 days, and then in 40 days get it up to 20 grand a month, and then in, keep going. If you can build out sites fast enough, get them to rank fast enough, you can use this method to increase your income considerably. Several of the people who contacted me regarding learning about this method have hundreds of niche sites built and ranking, and they don't have the clients to fill them. So those people, they could turn around and make this thing happen so fast and so big by doing these steps. So anyway, I'm just kind of cheer you on a little bit before we go on to the next chapter. Again, these are very easy steps, but get this done. Get your phone number set up and ready to go, and then start create this generic voicemail message that you can paste into each one of your sites, so that when somebody calls one of your numbers, they get the right message and they leave a message and you can follow up.